As part of the previous session, we have seen a high-level overview on an end-to-end scenario that we have created for an e-commerce application, where in which right from the login till adding to the cart and logging out from the application, we have verified a full in the flow on that particular app. If I can show you the glimpse of the stuff that we have done in a previous session. So we just logged into this app. So test at the rate mailinator.com and test 123 for other credentials. And yeah, mhm. Okay, fine. So maybe we might have used different credentials. Test one. Okay. Yeah, so upon logging into the application, we just clicked on this text field and we performed a search operation for an iPhone. And after searching of an iPhone, basically, we selected the size and we selected the button, the color, and you clicked on this add to cart button. So for all these actions which we have seen so far, apart from the text field, for all other things, we used a simple click command itself. And even for this pop-up, if you consider this is a kind of an alert that we have, so we are not using any kind of a switch to mechanism out over there. So directly we are specifying the locators for this particular object, and your Appium is recognizing and it's performing the stuff. The only thing that you need to do is you just need to switch to the pop-up and okay, whatever the locators are there for this pop-up, directly get it, and you can ask your program to perform a click operation on that. So in the inspector session, you will be identifying the OK button locator and you will specify it in a program. And after that, even we clicked on this cart and we clicked on this quantity, and there is an option for us to change the quantity, and we have a change at the quantity to 2. And later we handled this pop-up again and we clicked on this delete, and then we navigated to shop on now, and from here we navigated to a my profile and you clicked on a logout button. This is what a full and the end-to-end flow that we have created as part of a previous session, which we conducted on Saturday. This is what the end-to-end scenario that we have covered. And on Sunday, yeah, we didn't even conduct any session. We have just gone through some exploratory stuff on the different applications, but the session was not recorded on Sunday. But officially, we can consider that we conducted a session on Saturday, but there was no session conducted on a Sunday. That's what the concept is. Good enough. So now, if you can see my screen here, so I'm launching this Swag Labs. Okay, the Swag Labs app. And here, basically, if you scroll down, you can find a standard user, logged user, and a problem user. Different types of users available in the application, we can find it. So now what I want to do is, my requirement is, I want to perform a scroll down, oblique, scroll up operation using our tool. I just want to perform a scroll down. So it means vertically I need to scroll down and I need to scroll up vertically. So this is what a scroll down functionality that we need to focus on. So why exactly we need this functionality? So to analyze that particular stuff, what I want to do right now means this is what the scenario that I want to deal with. For this scenario, what I want to do is create a session with this app first, and let's analyze the home screen on the app. Okay, let's analyze the home screen on the app. So I'm launching my Appium server, in which I'm navigating to my Appium session inspector session screen, and I'm picking up my saved capabilities, where in which I have my Android set of capabilities that I have picked for. And if you can see, it is pointing to the Sauce Lab app itself, and I'm clicking on a start session. So whenever you clicked on a start session, automatically your Appium will try to establish a session with this particular mobile device. So this is what the screen it's being populated. Yeah. So on whichever the screen that was rendered on our mobile UI, we can't find this standard user or the three different options. But what I am doing right now means scroll down a bit and you can find a standard user, locked user, and a problem user. Let us get this locators for this particular three, where in which I want to click on only the standard user. So I'm clicking on this standard user, maximize the inspector screen, and here you have a text. So copy this text and let us directly write down an XPath. So I'm just changing the XPath to cross check whether the locators, whatever we are writing, is valid or not. Okay, whether it is working or not. So here within the Appium inspector session, there is a magnifying icon. And if you click on that magnifying icon, it will prompt you a new window, which is search for an element. So whatever the locator you have, just specify here and you can search whether it is a valid XPath or not, or a valid locator or not. So I'm giving XPath as an option. I know the basic syntax of an XPath, the slash slash star open braces at the rate text is equal to. I have specified my regular XPath and I clicked on this search button. So we are getting a one search results here. And once we got the search results here, what we can do means select that particular object and check whether the respective object in the inspector screen is getting highlighted or not. See here, I selected this object and see whenever I selected this search for element, the respective object here, it is getting highlighted in this place. So in this section, basically, whichever the object we are trying for, that will be identified at this particular screen. If we are getting elements as a one, we can confirm that it is a valid locator and we have a certain objects to identify them. Okay, whatever the attribute or the locator you have a given, if it is an invalid, let me show you how this is going to looks like. So in this screen, assume that I have a given standard user 123 and click on a search. So here there are no objects. Back elements is 0. Could not find any elements with this locator. Okay, so whenever there are any objects, you will be finding in this way, and if at all there are no objects, you will find in that particular way. Here, wherever the info is getting displayed at this particular point, it will display you as locators not found with this particular info, whatever you have given. Based on that, we will need to tweak the locators. Assume that you have a used a tag name, you need to change it. Assume that you have used a text, you need to change it. So the different types of probabilities you need to go ahead out over there. As of now, in the current situation, this is the next part that it is being working. So let's go back to our Eclipse editor and let me create a new program. Okay, so this e-commerce app, I'm just copying this script for my reference and I'm pasting it here. And this is for SaaS Lab scroll. Okay, I just created this script. And on this script, there are a couple of unnecessary commands that I'm not using. I'm just deleting these commands. I don't want these credentials to. My objective is on this particular app, I should pass on my all the desired capabilities and the app information. See platform name, platform version, device name, app, and the activity we have a passed. If you see the app, this app should be of a source lab. So I'm going to my downloads folder, app, Android, SaaS Lab app, and here I'm specifying this app file. That's it. So this is what the app file that we have specified. Okay. So what I'm going to do right now, so I have created this particular set of desired capabilities related to my app, followed by I'm creating an instance to my Appium driver with the help of an Android driver. So I want to create an instance to an Android driver for which I am passing the Appium server URL followed by the set of desired capabilities that we are passing above. As we are passing these a set of desired capabilities, your Appium will try to interact with this app and it will install. After installing, I need to click on this standard user, copy this XPath, come back here, driver dot find element by XPath dot click. So I'm asking it to perform a click operation on this particular object. So driver data find element by data click, and after that wait for few seconds and terminate it. So whenever the app got installed, this is what the screen that it's being rendered. And if you perform a click operation on an object which is hidden, which is not displaying on a browser screen, let's see how the application is responding. Run as a Java application. I'm just trying to execute my test script. So I'm observing my Appium server log, followed by I'm just monitoring my mobile device instance as well. So here, if you observe, we are getting an exception as no such element exception. So buddy, I'm just waiting for the amount of time that you have given, but with the locator, whatever you have given, I am unable to find any element with this. So the reason is this is the screen where you are and the object is just below this. So if you scroll down now, it identified that particular object and it performed that. So it identified and it performed a click operation. But whenever the mobile app is in this particular screen, it's unable to identify. So the ultimate point out over here in this particular mobile automation that we need to consider is if you are dealing with the objects which needs a scroll functionality, you need to perform that operation first, and later we need to perform the desired operation. You need to scroll it first and then you can perform the desired operation. So we need to, in order to perform the desired operation for sure, we need to do a scroll down operation first and later we can perform that particular operation. To do so, how exactly we can do a scroll down in our mobile automation? So generally, so in Appium, we do have a touch action concept basically. Using this touch action, you can perform this scroll down, horizontal scroll or a vertical scroll. So people will call it as a swipe, a scroll, all these things, right? Using these touch actions, we will be performing all these operations. Okay, using this touch action, which we have in Appium, we can achieve these things. Okay, we can achieve these things. But there is an ultimate point that we need to consider. This touch action will be performed using the coordinates of the desired object. Okay, so whatever the desired object is there, you need to identify the coordinates of that desired object, and based on that, we can perform these operations. Usually, the swipe and scroll are of two different types of functionalities, which needs of two sets of logics in place. So the first set of logic that needs usually, we need to calculate complete screen size, and from where we need to perform operations when we don't know what is the desired object to perform a scroll. So in this current situation, you don't know where exactly you need to perform a scroll. The only thing that you need to that you have an idea is my screen should scroll down. That's the only requirement we have. But you don't have an restriction that if this is an image, if you click on that image and scroll down, then only you will perform a scroll down operation. This is not the application is behaving right now. The application is designed in such a way that no matter wherever you are in this entire screen, if you press on it and if you scroll down, automatically that will be scroll down. Right, that's what the point is. There are certain scenarios where exactly the scroll or a swipe will work on a specific object. Whenever you are on a specific object, and if you have the coordinates of that particular object, then only the scroll and a swipe will perform. For now, this is the example where I need to do this scroll down operation, where I want to calculate the complete screen dimensions, and as per the screen dimensions itself, I want to deal with it. Good, done the deal. So here, what I'm doing right now means, let me write down a small graph stuff here. So here, assume that this is what an x-axis is, and this is what a y-axis is. We usually know that if something is displaying here, so if the login button is displaying means this login button will have an x coordinate, and this login button would also have a y coordinate, right? Based on the coordinates itself, at some point of x and at some point of y, these objects are getting displayed. Right. So if you consider this horizontal stuff, we call it as an x coordinate, and this vertical stuff, we call it as a y. Okay. Or we can also call it as this is a complete height of this particular screen. Height basically from top to bottom, we call it as a height, and from left to right, we call it as a width. Height and as well as the width of this particular screen. Okay, and additionally, so here, if you consider this is what the starting portion of your y-axis. Okay, this is what your starting portion of a y-axis, which I'm considering as a 0. And this is what the maximum portion of this y-axis, which I'm calling it as 100%. If the 0th percent of this y-axis is the starting portion, and the 100% is at the bottom that we are seeing for the vertical line. The same way for the horizontal line also, this is what the starting position which we are considering as a 0, and this is what an ending position which I am considering it as 100%. Okay, so just I'm dividing this screen into a percentage wise. So guys, if you clearly observe in the current situation, I need to do a scroll down operation. So just a down functionality I need to deal with, where whenever you want to scroll down, you are not dealing with this x coordinate, and we are not dealing with this x coordinate. We are just focusing only on a y coordinates itself. Vertically, you are trying to perform the operation, but not horizontally. We are not dealing anything here with respect to this application. Got it, guys? So as per this scenario, you need to consider that I'm just doing a down operation itself, where in which we don't have x coordinates that needs to be tweaked up. Got it, Vamsi? Got it, Vamsi, Venkat, and Gopal. Any questions on this?
No, no, sir.
Good. Venkat
No,
and
sir.
Vamsi? Yeah.
No, no, sir.
Okay. So ultimate point here is you need to scroll down, where in which you are just changing the vertical boxes of that particular object or the screen, where we are not touching anything about this horizontally for this particular scenario. Okay, for this particular scenario, we are not dealing anything with respect to this horizontal stuff. Okay, perfect. And after this one, in order to get the complete instance, so what I'm doing means, as of now, I'm commenting this logic, which is the selecting of this standard user. I'll be using this command sometime later in next few minutes. So first, what I'm doing means driver dot manage dot window dot get size. So here, what I'm doing right now, what is the significance of this get size? This size is the method which will get the dimensions of that current window or the size of that current window. So here, the dimensions of this particular screen that will be capturing by this one. Okay, if I mouse over on this one, the return type of this one is a dimensions. So here string D is equal to, I'm storing these dimensions into a D instance and I have stored this. So dimensions D is equal to, I stored it. And using these dimensions, what you can get the height and you can get the width of this particular screen. So as of now, we are giving it as a window. So it means the complete mobile instance. For that a mobile instance, we are getting a height and a width in the current situation. Moving ahead, depending on your project requirement, instead of using the screen, you may be using your object, desired object information also. Okay, you may be using your desired object information also. Perfect, done the deal. And then, so the next point here is, so as I have mentioned, so in this situation, you need to move down. You are not moving anything horizontally, basically in the current situation. Only thing that it's being changed is a vertically. So vertically means it's a height. So D dot get height. So I'm getting the height of that particular screen. So what I want to do, as said that this is what the 0th percentage is. This is what the 100th percentage of the vertical thing. So assume that this is your 80th percentage of your screen. So I can do a long press at that 80th percentage of the screen and I can move down from 80th percentage further 20 percentage move down the screen. So here what I'm going to do right now means, so get a height into, I'm using 0.8. So what I'm doing right now means int h1 is equal to, this is what my starting position is. I want to place my cursor at this 80th position, 80th percentage of the screen. In this screen, tentatively the 80th percentage will fall here. This is what my start point is. From here, I need to move down to further 20%. So here, what I'm doing means d dot get height again into 0.2. Okay, further 20 more. So int h2 is equal to, again a typecasting for this one. So here we are capturing 80th percentage and a 20th percentage of that particular screen. The complete screen instance we are capturing. And upon capturing this instance, now I'm creating an object to touch action space action is equal to new touch action. So I'm just creating an instance to this particular touch actions case. Okay, good. So I'm just importing these touch actions from our Appium. And after importing these actions, so what we need to do, so action dot, first of all, you need to, okay, so on this ACT, right? Action dot, you need to do a press operation. Okay, I want to do a press operation. Where exactly I want to perform a press? So here if at all you wanna use a press operation, you need to pass on a point option for that point. So, if you remember basically, so in this particular Selenium, we have a point, written point, which will be getting down the X coordinate and a Y coordinate of that particular object. So here, as per this point option here, we need to present your X coordinate and as well as a Y coordinate for that. So I know in my current situation, my X coordinate is 0. I don't want to deal anything horizontally. And my Y coordinate is H1. That's what the starting position is. So here, what I'm going to do means point option P is equal to new point option. Using this point option itself, we are going to specify, okay, using this point option itself, you are going to specify your coordinates. What exactly my X coordinate is, what exactly my Y coordinate is. These coordinates we are going to specify using this point options itself. And after creating that instance, so what I'm doing means P dot, what exactly my point is? My point of contacts are my X coordinate is 0 and my Y coordinate is H1. So it means perform this action. Which action? Press action at 0 and H1. So it means it will press at the 80th position. Okay, it will press at the 80th position. And after that, I'm using a move to again P dot. So I'm using a P dot point of, again my X coordinate is 0, Y coordinate is H2. So it means from H1 to H2. So what I want to do, release it and perform that operation. Okay, so I'm just performing that particular operation. That's it, guys. If you clearly observe, we are pressing at this coordinate and we are moving at this coordinate and we are asking it to wait for some time and then we are asking it to quit that instance. Let me try to run this script and see whether it is executing or it's failing. Okay, I'm just executing my test script. Whatever the result might be, so we will analyze the result upon rejoining the session, guys. Okay, so we will rejoin the session and we will analyze this result. Okay, so it's trying to perform that particular operation, guys. If you observe, I don't think it performed that operation. Nothing has performed that particular operation. Good. So before this command, so what I'm doing means, let me add a thread dot sleep for 4 seconds. After loading an app, wait for 4 seconds and then perform this operation. See, let me try to run this script for the last time and see whether this action is being performed or not. If it is not performing, we'll see how exactly to perform this operation. Okay, so though it waited for a few seconds and I guess it's not performing the operation. It's pressing, but it's not moving out over there. Okay, so let us rejoin the class and let us see how exactly we can use this command effectively. Okay, so kindly rejoin the session so that we can discuss this.